Hey guys, and this was a requested video, but today I'm going to be telling you guys how to take care of a full body silicone baby, or this will apply to just any type of silicone. If you have like a partial, or if you have like a latex type silicone, or if you have like any type of EcoFlex or any type of silicone from stiff to super floppy. I'm going to show you how to take care of silicone baby, and I have all 4 of my silicones right here, and I'm going to be telling you guys, teaching you guys how to care for one of your own. So basically, there's just a couple of things you'll need to have for your silicone baby. So when you have a full body silicone baby, or just any silicone really in general, they have their skin and their body is not like a reborn. Like, it's not vinyl, it's this squishy material called silicone, and as you can see, it's floppy. It's very, very squishy. You can bend it and squish it. Their skin is like that all over. They also, most of them can take pacifiers, whether it's a full passy, a preemie, or just a modified one made especially for them. This is Casey, and Casey can take a full pacifier. That means you can put any size pacifier in her mouth. This is a full passy, and she can take this full passy inside her mouth. However, I don't think I can put it in for the video because I don't have maybe I can. Oh yeah, I can. Okay, good. So as you can see, she takes that full passy. Now, I usually use both my hands, so it goes in deeper. It's just because I don't have both my hands to shove it in there. But she takes a full passy, and if that's one of the reasons you want to get a silicone, you want to contact the artist and ask, does this baby take a full passy? And so you want to make sure that the mouth opens and it goes in deep to where you can fit your whole finger in the mouth. Because if you want them to take a full passy, and as well as a bottle, they can also take full bottles. If you want them to take a passy and a bottle, you want to contact the artist to make sure that the baby takes that. And another thing is, their skin is, like I said, it's floppy and it's silicone. It's not vinyl, so you can put powder on it as well as baby soap and water. So depending on the type of paint used to make your silicone, you can usually give these babies baths. So you want to also contact the artist, because that, for me, that's like a priority, except for Embry here can't be bathed, but this is Casey and she can be bathed. But if that's like one of the main reasons you want to invest in a silicone, then you need to definitely contact the artist and make sure that your silicone is able to be bathed, because sometimes they can't be bathed. Sometimes it's something either to do with the type of paint they used, or type of silicone, the mix of the silicone. It just depends. So you're gonna want to contact the artist just to make sure that you can bathe them, because that's a big thing for me. I love to bathe them. And when you do bathe them, you're going to want to make sure that you get either like a bathtub type of thing, like a small crate, or you can also use a sink or an actual bathtub, but you're going to want some source to bathe them in, and never put them in water that you get out of your faucet, because it's chlorinated, and chlorine will react with the silicone, and it will, if you leave their baby in there for more than 30 or 40 minutes, they can start to actually disintegrate and solute into the water, and it can also just take their paint off. So you just don't want to put them in any chlorinated water. So what I do is I get my refrigerator has filtered water that has no chlorine in it and no chemicals. I empty that. I put that into a empty small container, and I use that as the bathtub for my silicone babies. And it is cold water. However, there's really nothing you can do. There's no really preferred temperature you can bathe your silicone at. They prefer usually warm water, but I always bathe mine in cold water, and it doesn't do anything, and they're just fine. Nothing happens to their paint. I would suggest warm water just because it's more fun to bathe them in that, but I can't use warm water because my filter only has cold. But anyways, and then after you bathe them, you're gonna want to make sure all the soap is off them, and you're gonna powder their skin. For silicone babies, you have to powder them. So baby powder is definitely an essential, or just any type of like paint, like matte powder would work, but it can't be like obviously no makeup powder. Like I've seen people try to put like makeup powder on them and they get confused, and you want to use baby powder. So like Johnson's baby powder, but do not use this type of powder. You want to use pure cornstarch powder because talc powder can make them too shiny and it can ruin their paint. So you want to use the right kind of powder when powdering them, and it's very important that you use the right kind of powder. And you want to powder all over them in their mouth, all over their creases. And you don't want to apply too much, because if you apply too much to the skin, then it can be bad. But another thing, silicones are cold, like they're not warm. So if you get freaked out by the temperature of like feeling a doll and it's like cold, I would recommend to get one, because silicone babies are like basically cold, like because the silicone was a liquid and it's not being heated from any sort, so it is cold. It's cold. It's not warm. Doesn't feel, the temperature is not at all like a real baby. It's almost freezing cold. So that's one thing I should probably mention if you're thinking of getting one. It's not just how to actually take care of them in general. You're going to need probably diapers, but that's not an essential. But if you want to actually have role play, you'll want everything you need for a reborn, and some more. You want to make sure you get them a full pacifier, unless if your baby has a modified one. For instance, this baby, Embry, this one, can only take certain types of passies because her mouth doesn't open as wide as some silicones. So this one's just a newborn passy with the top cut off. But she can also take a full preemie. Casey can take full passies like this. Lily has a modified passy that she can only take that. And then this one also has a little modified passy that she can take. It's just for a tiny silicone like her. But there's different types of silicone, from large to medium to small. Like Sugar here, she's 9 inches. If you don't want to spend all the money, you can get just a little 9-inch baby. This I got for $40. That's not typically the price. You'll typically see tiny silicones for anywhere from $100 to $300. But this one was like a super sale, and I was lucky enough to find her on eBay bid for $40. However, that's not common. But if you need help, I could suggest you to some good eBay sellers that sell silicones for cheap. But I'm not going to give their names out just to anybody, so you are going to need to talk to me about that if you want to know where you can get a silicone for under $100, one like that, a little one. I don't have a problem advertising the prices that I paid for my babies, so please don't hate on me for that, but I will give you a general idea that their prices of full body silicone babies can cost anywhere between $500 and $5,000. So if you're thinking of buying and investing in a silicone baby, I would suggest that you either save your money or think long and hard about it for days and days and days and days, and think about what you're going to do. Because if you're just planning on having it sitting around, it's really not worth it. They're kind of more of a hands-on experience. It's not something you're going to want to just have to sit around. If you want that, then you should purchase a reborn baby, because silicones are made with this material for a reason. You're supposed to handle them. However, you do need to do it with proper care. And if you don't do it with proper care, you will not have a silicone that will last a long time. But luckily, they do last. They can last from anywhere from 2 to 6 years. After that, they basically just die down. The reason being is because they are basically fading away in front of your eyes. Like, the silicone is just slowly, every time you bathe them, one coat of silicone basically comes off. So if you try to bathe them, I would say no more than twice a month. So that would be like once every 2 weeks. I would say no more than that. I only bathe mine about twice a month, sometimes less, sometimes more, depending on how I'm feeling. And yeah, but if you'd like, you can, with your silicones, you can customize them. Like if you get them, because a lot of times people get them and they're just not great, like they're not good quality or something. But if you get them, you can have them customized by an artist or something, and if you don't like them. So that's that. And partial silicones can cost anywhere from $300 to $900 usually, but they can be more or less. And so if you want a bottle for your baby, you can take fabric softener and some vanilla what's it called? Vanilla extract, and you can shake that up and seal your bottle with silicone and feed it to your baby. Or you can do it my way and use sunscreen and water. I got that from Maya Melissa on YouTube. That's her method, and it makes great milk, and it lasts just as long, and it also smells amazing, and yeah, and it can be reused, which I like. So you're not wasting the sunscreen, because if all you're doing is adding water to sunscreen, you can still use sunscreen. Like, so if one day you decide you don't want it, you can use it up. And that sounds really weird, but you can. But I wouldn't suggest leaving it in there too long. But and if you want, you can also make bottles of a lot of different things. You can search up how to make a reborn or how to make a silicone baby bottle on YouTube, and it'll give you thousands and thousands and thousands of results of how to make a bottle. If you guys want a tutorial on how to make my bottles, I'll show you guys. So if you want to keep their skin and their silicone in the best condition, you should powder it, but don't do it daily. I would say do it once every 2 or 3 days, and try to do it as little as possible, because it definitely builds up a lot of powder. But definitely do it every time you bathe them, for sure, because they're gonna need to be powdered a lot when you bathe them. Let's see what else. Okay, so for taking them out in public, a lot of people like to take their silicones out in public, but don't leave them in the car for too long, or they melt. They'll melt, like literally their skin will just start to melt. And if you take them out, try to make it realistic. Like, I would suggest to have a pasty in their mouth, bring a bottle, and bring a proper traveling system, and have their skin showing. Like, don't be afraid to show their silicone. Like, don't dress them how Casey is dressed here. Dress them in something like something that shows off their torso area more. Like, they're just more realistic. If you're going to buy one of these babies, you should embrace it and take it out. But if you don't feel comfortable doing that, that's fine. I would take out a reborn before I would take out a silicone baby. But anyways, there's a lot of things you can do for silicone babies, but that's just some of the main tips that I have. And I think I might make a part 2 of this, or I might just make a part 2 where I'm focusing on certain aspects of taking care of silicone dolls. But that is basically the video. And if you have any more questions on silicone babies, you can leave it in the comments. I can answer it. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope I gave you some helpful tips on taking care of silicones. Bye, guys.